In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Clone Commander Fox in his Phase 2 armor for the Clone Wars animated line. He was released as figure number 18 as part of like the Movie Heroes line that was sub-branded with the Clone Wars as well. This was unfortunately during the time where the Clone Wars line was unfortunately going out, and at this point we were getting just only a few action figures, and the few we got, most of them were very limited in terms of articulation and what paint was applied to them and just the overall look. Everyone could tell at this point that the Clone Wars was on its way out. It's a shame. I think it was one of Hasbro's best lines even to this date. If you were there between 2008, 2009, 10, and even into 11 a little bit, the Clone Wars line was the thing. And it also helped being alongside with the Legacy Collection and then the early TVC line as well. It was just a really good time to be collecting Star Wars action figures, and quite frankly, I don't think that magic has been captured since. So for Commander Fox here, I really like this action figure. I've had him ever since 2012. I only saw him once at retail, and that was at Kohl's. And I knew at that time that I have to get Commander Fox today. And this was actually the very first Commander Fox I got in my collection. Recently, you may have seen the video I did the Black Series Phase 2 Fox, and many months ago I also did the Phase 1 Fox in the Clone Wars line. So I figured now is the time to finally get the last Commander Fox action figure reviewed on the channel. And also it's a good way to get some more of the Clone Wars animated characters on the channel, which I hope to get many more here soon. This guy has had a lot of complaints over the years though, and that's mainly because of the articulation. Like I said, at this time, Hasbro was severely limiting the tooling budget for these Clone Wars characters, so he was basically has the bare minimum, and this was kind of like the pathway forward into leading back into the 5 POA line, which ended up debuting about a year or two later after this guy. So because I got him at Kohl's, I only paid retail price for him, which at that time was like $10 for this, which $10 for this guy is a little much. At least at the time it seemed like that. If you look at the prices for him now, they're ridiculous. They're usually in the $50 or $60 range. So I think I got kind of lucky in that regard. But he's been a part of my collection for about 12 years now at this point, and I'm glad he has been. It's a very nice action figure. Besides the articulation as well, he's not painted accurately. I think he's supposed to have a white patch on his chin there. I have seen some people correct that. Yeah, you can see that white patch there on his card there. I'm sure there's a few other ones here and there, but I know that's really the main one. But to be honest, it's never really bothered me over the years. In fact, it's kind of gave him a unique look, just something different to bring to the table. Fortunately, even if you really did want that white patch on his chin, that would be a simple fix. You just take some paint and brush it in there. But I had no plans to really do that anytime soon. So, yeah, we'll just go ahead and take a closer look at this guy. In fact, we'll just look at his card here first, because this is close to the package that we'll get. So, a nice image there of Fox from probably either Season 4 or Season 5. The scene that really sticks out the most to me with his Phase 2 armor is when he's basically tells Anakin to buzz off when he wants to have a conversation with his Padawan Ahsoka while she's in jail. And we know that eventually does come back to haunt Commander Fox later on in the comics. I think he eventually confronts Darth Vader again, and once Darth Vader returns the favor. So I've talked a little bit about these Galactic Battle Game cards before. Maybe at some point I'll do a dedicated video showcasing exactly how the game is played. It's very simple. It's not very fun, I'll say that. I have tried playing it on my own a time or two years ago, but it's not something that's really going to hold your interest. But it is nice to collect the cards. I do have them all from the time I was collecting the Clone Wars line. And he has all these various stats. I don't know how he would have a force ability score, but he does. And battle skills and leadership are his big things. But he's not very lucky though. And during 2012, it had a little bit of a different makeover for these cards. I know in the past, like the Shadow of the Dark Side, they were mostly blue and black, and these ones were mostly silver and blue, or the regular movie heroes ones were typically like a tan color, I think. Another nice image of Fox there. The Republic symbol. He does come with a die as well, which I didn't realize, or I forgot to include that in this video here, but it's not that big of a deal. I know I've showed it before, but it's that little blue die that all these sets came with. Actually, in his case, it may have been black. But still, same exact thing. And of course, he does come with the stand. And in this case, he has a kind of a sand color stand. And this is the only one I have in this particular shade. There are lighter colored ones. I think those ones came with the regular movie heroes line, while the Clone Wars may have gotten these darker ones. It was very nice, something a little unique. Unfortunately, it still fits on a stand pretty good after all these years. But let's just go ahead and take a closer look at this guy. So the helmet sculpt, I think the sculpt itself is fine. Like I said, it's just not painted 100% accurately. That shield around his helmet there definitely drowns out his visor a lot. At least I got the white stripes there on the side of his helmet, though, and the black ones as well. He does have the antenna, and he does have the floodlight, which is accurate. Kind of see that the paint is a little bit sloppy, and I think that was a common problem with a lot of these last Clone Wars action figures, especially if it was a brand new one. If it was a repack, it wasn't too bad. And the three clones that ended up using this particular tooling were Fox here, and then Wolf, and Captain Rex in his Phase 2 armor. They even got the white along his cheeks there. So it's interesting they painted that, but they didn't do the one on the chin. As for the rest of his outfit, pretty simple. He does have the Coruscant Guard logo on this side, just plain white on this side. Does have the comma there, and his legs, it's the red and the white combo. Belt there with some of his pouches, holsters there. He does have this hole on his back, which I think was for either Captain Rex or maybe Commander Wolf. I think they may have came with a jetpack, and that was to accommodate that. Or it was just maybe it was a retool from the Phase 2 clone in the Clone Wars line. Either way, Hasbro did not patch that up. They just did a complete recycle of the same exact part. But if you do have a spare jetpack lying around, which I do have a few, you can give Commander Fox here an extra jetpack. Does have the thermal detonator there. So in terms of his articulation, this is where a lot of people had some problems with this guy. So he does have a ball joint to head, which has a really good range of motion. Pretty much look in every direction possible, all the way down and up a little bit. Pretty good. He does have hinged shoulders, but he's kind of restricted because of that shoulder armor there. That's about as far as it'll go. He does have hinged elbows, which doesn't even go quite to 90 degrees. Now here's where it's getting lacking. He has no articulation in the wrist at all. Which for this guy, it's not the end of the world, but it is kind of disappointing because you can't really have him hold his pistols too well. you're never going to be able to get him to hold it totally straight. So that is one thing. He does have a swivel waist, which at this time was kind of a setback because a lot of the clones previously had a joint at the waist. He does have swivel hips, but he has no articulation in knees or ankles, which at the time this was pretty shocking for a lot of people. If anything, if Hasbro could have only added one more piece of articulation to this, I think most people would go with hinged knees, and I probably would too. So you could tell that the tooling budget was getting kind of limited at this point, and Hasbro had to cut a lot of corners along the way, which is unfortunate. This guy definitely deserved the full treatment, being super articulated, best paint apps possible, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. In terms of his weapons and accessories, kind of basic. He just has the 2 DC 17 pistols, which they fit all right in his hands. I haven't had any problems with that, and they kind of fit in his holsters as well. Unfortunately, you couldn't get them in a drawing pose if you wanted to. You definitely should have included a rifle, similar to like the Phase 1 Fox. And then he also came with the standard rocket launcher here, which was a pretty normal accessory to include with a lot of the clones at this time. Fox came with this one, and I think Rex came with the rotary Gatling gun, and then maybe Wolf came with the even larger rocket launcher. But you're probably never going to see Commander Fox really carrying one of these things, and even if he did, he would look kind of awkward with it. And because he's limited in the articulation department, there's only so much he can really do to hold that. It's kind of about the best you can get. It's not terrible, but being the course on guard, and especially being a commander, you're probably going to see him carrying like a shorter DC 15 rifle. But anyways, I think that's pretty much all I can tell you about Commander Fox here. I will bring out all his other counterparts. Here he is in his Phase 1 appearance. And that's the only Phase 1 Fox we've gotten from Hasbro to date. And then also his his Phase 2 Black Series counterpart. You see the difference between the two? They all look really good together. So I'm pretty sure these are all the Commander Fox action figures that you can get from Hasbro. And I think they're all pretty solid. I wouldn't mind seeing Fox make his way into the vintage collection. I think a lot of people would like that as well. I know I've talked about it before that a lot of people do have a problem with Commander Fox because of him basically not listening to Clone Trooper 5s. But you know, 5s had the weapon, and if you've ever heard of the Deadly Force Triangle, there's like 3 prongs to it where it's like weapon, opportunity, and oh, I'm drawing a blank what the other one is right now. It's weapon, opportunity, and intent or something like that. I would have to go back and review it, but you know, 5s, he met pretty much all those things. So Fox technically followed exactly what he was supposed to do. So you really can't blame him for that. It's unfortunate what happened to 5s, but that was the situation, unfortunately. But I really like Commander Fox overall. He has a very cool armor design. You know, he's a very by-the-book clone trooper. He's the model soldier, I guess, for the clone army. And I'm glad to have all 3 of these for my collection. So would I recommend this Clone Wars Phase 2 Fox figure collection? I wouldn't really spend $50 or $60 for him unless you're really insistent about getting it. But if you're just a casual collector, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just get the Phase 1 Fox, and you'll probably be good enough. That one's usually relatively affordable. But the Phase 2 Fox, other than the other helmet. There's really not a lot of newness to it, I guess. And he's severely limited of what he can do. But he's the first Commander Fox I got. I've had him for 12 years now, so I'll cherish him greatly. I'm glad he's been with me for all these years, and hopefully many more to come. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support. And check out some of the links in the description if you haven't done so already. As always, thanks for watching.